He forced me to kneel before his new Luna. Until the throne chose me instead. A full werewolf romance audiobook. His hand is on my shoulder. Kenneth Ben's hand, the one that used to trace constellations across my skin in the dark, now pressing down with enough force that my knees buckle against the cold stone floor. I can feel every eye in the great hall burning into my back. 200 wolves watching Kate Edward, the discarded human, kneel before their alpha's perfect new Luna. The one who actually belongs here. The one who fits. I shouldn't have come. The summons arrived 3 days ago on parchment so black it seemed to absorb light, sealed with silver wax that burned cold when I touched it. No explanation, just an address I'd spent 4 years trying to forget and 3 words that changed everything. Come bear witness. I should have burned it. Should have packed my apartment and moved further away, somewhere Kenneth Ben's name couldn't follow me, somewhere the mountains didn't taste like pine and memory and him. But I didn't. Because some broken part of me needed to see it. Needed to watch him crown another woman, needed the confirmation that what we had, what I thought we had, was as finished as my shattered heart insisted. I needed the wound clean so it could finally scar. So I drove 6 hours back to Thornwood, back to the town that never wanted me, back to the estate perched on the cliff like a predator's lair. And now here I am, kneeling on stone that feels like ice, while the wolves who never accepted me watch my final humiliation. Kenneth's fingers tighten fractionally on my shoulder. I don't look up. Won't give him that. The great hall blazes with candlelight. Hundreds of flames dance across the blackened stone walls, casting shadows that seem to writhe and breathe. The ceiling soars 40 feet above us, supported by pillars carved with wolves mid-hunt. At the far end, raised on a dais of ancient stone, sits the throne. I'd only seen it once before, years ago, when Kenneth first brought me here. The throne of the Thornwood Alpha, carved from a single piece of silver-veined granite, its back rising in the shape of a wolf's head, crowned with thorns. It's beautiful and terrible in equal measure, and right now, it frames the woman who replaced me perfectly. She sits with her spine straight, her hands folded gracefully in her lap. Vivian Frost. Daughter of the Northern Territory's most powerful pack. Hair like spun copper falling in perfect waves past her shoulders, skin like porcelain, wearing an emerald gown that probably cost more than I made in a year. Everything about her screams royalty, power, belonging. Everything I'm not. Kenneth stands beside the throne in deep blue formal wear that makes his dark hair and storm gray eyes even more striking. He looks exactly as I remember. Tall, broad-shouldered, moving with that unconscious authority that made every wolf in the territory bend their neck in submission. Even from here, I can feel the weight of his presence pressing against my skin. For years ago, he'd pressed me against his bedroom wall and sworn I was the only woman he'd ever want. 3 months later, he stood before the Council of Alphas and announced his engagement to Vivian Frost. 2 months after that, I was gone. And now I'm back, kneeling, while he crowns her. The elder steps forward. His name is Thomas, I remember, though he'd never spoken to me directly. Too far beneath his notice. He carries a crown on a velvet cushion, woven from silver and bone, ancient and sacred. The ceremonial crown of the Luna. The symbol of power that would never, ever be mine. We gather tonight, Thomas begins, his voice carrying through the hall, to witness the joining of Alpha and Luna, the completion of the bond that will lead our pack into the future. My stomach twists. I dig my nails into my palms, using the pain to anchor myself. Just watch. Just witness. Then leave and never come back. Vivian Frost of the Northern Territories, daughter of Alpha William Frost, do you accept the responsibility and honor of becoming Luna to the Thornwood Pack? I do. Her voice is clear and confident. Perfect. Then by the power vested in me by the Council of Alphas and the ancient laws of our kind, I crown you. The temperature drops. Not gradually. All at once, like winter itself crashed through the windows. My breath mists in front of my face. Around the hall, candles gutter and dim. Confused murmurs ripple through the crowd. Thomas's hands shake as he lowers the crown toward Vivian's head. But the crown moves. It writhes in his grip like a living thing, bucking and twisting. Thomas's face goes pale. He tries to hold it steady, but the crown tears free of his grasp. It doesn't fall. It flies. Gasps echo through the hall as the silver circlet arcs through the air, trailing light like a comet. It passes over Kenneth's head, over Vivian's shocked face, over the assembled pack, and stops. At my feet. The crown hovers for a heartbeat, glowing with soft silver light, then drops to the stone with a sound like a bell. It rolls in a perfect arc and stops against my knee, still kneeling where Kenneth forced me down. Every head turns. Every eye finds me. I can't breathe. Can't move. Kenneth's hand is still on my shoulder, but his grip has gone slack with shock. What is the meaning of this? Vivian's voice cuts through the silence, no longer perfect but edged with fury and fear. Thomas stares at the crown, his weathered face bone white. The throne, he whispers. The throne has? Behind Kenneth, the ancient stone chair groans. Stone scraping stone, a sound that shouldn't be possible. The throne, which has sat in the same position for 300 years, shudders. Then shifts. 6 inches to the side. Angling away from Vivian. Toward me. The silver veins in the granite begin to glow, pulsing with the same light as the crown at my feet. The carved wolf's head seems to turn, its stone eyes fixing on me with terrible recognition. No. Vivian rises from her seat, her composure cracking. This is impossible. She's human. She has no claim. The throne does not recognize humanity or pack politics. Thomas's voice shakes. It recognizes fate. That word hangs in the air like smoke. Fate. I finally find my voice. I don't want this. It comes out barely a whisper. I shouldn't be here. I try to stand, to run, but Kenneth's hand tightens again on my shoulder. Not forcing me down this time. Stopping me from leaving. Don't. His voice drops low, meant only for me. And there's something in it I've never heard before. Not in all our time together. Not even when he told me he loved me. Fear. Don't run. Not yet. I finally look up at him. Those storm gray eyes meet mine, and the shock in them mirrors my own. But beneath it, there's something else. Recognition, the kind that goes bone deep. You don't get to ask that of me, I say, and my voice sounds stronger now, fed by 4 years of buried rage. Not after what you did. I know. His jaw tightens. But please. Listen to what? Remove her. Vivian's voice cracks like a whip. She doesn't belong here. This is some trick, some human witchcraft. 2 enforcers move toward me. But the moment they get within 10 feet, they stop. Just freeze. Their eyes go wide, and then, slowly, impossibly, they sink to one knee. Submitting. To me. My heart hammers against my ribs. What's happening? The crown has chosen. Thomas bends slowly, his old joints creaking, and picks up the glowing circlet. The light dims slightly at his touch but doesn't extinguish. The throne has acknowledged. The bond is. There is no bond. Kenneth's voice cuts through the hall with alpha command. This ceremony is postponed. You can't be serious. Vivian's perfect face twists with fury. We have an alliance to honor. The Northern Territories? I am your alpha. The words carry enough weight that several wolves bare their throats in instinctive submission. And I'm telling you, we're done for tonight. Silence falls, absolute and suffocating. Kenneth's attention returns to me, and this time I see past the shock to something raw and desperate beneath. Please, he says, and the word costs him. One conversation. Just, let me explain. Then if you want to leave, I won't stop you. Every instinct screams at me to refuse. To shove past him and drive until dawn, putting this cursed town and its impossible throne and its devastating alpha in my rearview mirror forever. But that word echoes in my skull. Fate. And beneath my breastbone, in a place I thought had died 4 years ago, something stirs awake. Fine, I whisper. One conversation. The walk through the mansion is torture. Kenneth leads me down corridors I remember too well. Past the library where we spent winter evenings with his body curved around mine, reading poetry aloud until words blurred into kisses. Past the conservatory where night-blooming jasmine filled the air and he first told me he loved me. Every step is a museum of my own heartbreak. If you've ever felt the pull of a story you can't put down, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you're going to want to follow Kate's journey to the end, and there's so much more coming. He stops at a door I don't recognize. A small study I've never seen before. The moment we cross the threshold, he closes it behind us and leans against it, physically barring the world from interrupting. You weren't supposed to come tonight, he says finally. I got a summons. Not from me. His jaw tightens. I didn't send it. Someone else wanted you here. My skin prickles with unease. Why? I don't know yet. He pushes away from the door, moving to the window. Moonlight carves shadows across his profile, highlighting the tension in his shoulders. But that crown, it's older than this pack. Older than any living shifter. The legends say it chooses the true Luna. The one bonded to the Alpha by fate itself. You're already bonded. The words taste like ash. To Vivian. You chose her. I was ordered to choose her. The admission comes out rough, scraped raw. He doesn't turn to face me. By the Council of Alphas. A political alliance to prevent war between territories. My breath catches. You never told me. Because I thought I could fight it. Now he does turn, and the anguish in his expression makes my chest ache. I thought if I just waited, if I built my power base strong enough, I could refuse them. Choose you. But they gave me an ultimatum. My hands start to shake. What ultimatum? Wed Vivian Frost, Kenneth says quietly, or watch them burn every human settlement in my territory. Starting with the ones you loved most. The floor tilts beneath my feet. What? They knew. His voice cracks. They knew you were my weakness. And they told me if I didn't comply, if I didn't announce the engagement within the week, they'd start with your grandmother's town. They'd make it look like rogue attacks. Tragic. Unavoidable. My grandmother. The woman who raised me after my parents died. The woman I buried 6 months ago, her grave now covered in wildflowers. You should have told me. I know. The words sound broken. But I convinced myself you'd be safer if you hated me. If you left and never looked back. If I could make you believe I never loved you, maybe they'd stop seeing you as leverage. Well, congratulations. Tears burn my eyes, but I refuse to let them fall. You succeeded. Kenneth flinches like I struck him. Kate. A howl splits the night. Long and mournful and far too close. Then another joins it. And another. Kenneth's entire body goes rigid. No. Not tonight. What is it? He's already moving toward the door. Stay here. Lock this behind me. Kenneth. But he's gone, running toward whatever danger those howls signal, leaving me alone in the dark study with his confession echoing in my ears. Outside, the howling grows louder. And beneath my breastbone, that strange stirring intensifies. Like something ancient recognizing a call meant specifically for it. I don't lock the door. I should. Should follow Kenneth's command and stay put like an obedient human while the wolves handle whatever danger prowls outside. But 4 years away from this world taught me something vital. I'm done being protected from the truth. The howls have stopped, replaced by something worse. Silence. The kind that presses against eardrums and makes pulses hammer in throats. I move through darkened corridors, following the path Kenneth took. The mansion feels different now, emptied of its crowd. Shadows pull in corners, and candles have burned low, casting everything in shades of dying gold and black. The front doors stand open, swinging in the night breeze. I step onto the portico and freeze. The manicured lawn has become a battlefield. Bodies move in the darkness, some human-shaped, others caught mid-transformation, their forms rippling between man and beast. Snarls and the wet sound of impact fill the air. Blood scents the wind. And in the center of it all, Kenneth fights. I've never seen him like this. For years ago, he kept this part of himself carefully hidden, as if his wolf was something shameful, something that might frighten me away. But now, watching him move with inhuman speed and savage grace, I understand what I was protected from. Not his violence. His power. He's caught in a half-shift that shouldn't be possible, human enough to stand upright, wolf enough that his hands have become claws tipped with silver, his eyes burning gold in the moonlight. He catches an attacker mid-lunge, twists, and throws the wolf 20 feet into the trees. He's magnificent. Terrifying. And completely in his element. Stay back. Someone shouts. A man I recognize as Kenneth's second-in-command blocks my path. Blood streaks his torn shirt. You need to get inside. A wolf bursts from the tree line, heading straight for us. I don't think. My hand closes around a fallen branch. Ridiculous. Useless. But before I can even lift it, something erupts from my chest. Not pain. Power. The wolf yelps and skids to a halt 6 feet away, whining. Its ears flatten against its skull. And then it does something that makes Kenneth's second swear under his breath. It bows. Head to the ground, throat exposed in perfect submission. To me. What the hell? The second stares at me like I've sprouted wings. I feel it then, thrumming beneath my skin. A presence that isn't mine, ancient and vast. It presses outward, and every wolf on the lawn feels it. One by one, the attackers break off. They retreat into the forest with their tails between their legs, whimpering like scolded pups. Even Kenneth has stopped fighting, his chest heaving, his transformed face turned toward me with an expression caught between awe and something that looks like grief. The power recedes as quickly as it came, leaving me gasping. My knees buckle. Kenneth's second catches me before I hit the ground. Get her inside, Kenneth's voice comes out rough, still half growl. Now. They bring me to the study again. But this time, I'm not alone. Kenneth paces like a caged animal while an elderly man I recognize from the ceremony examines me with eyes too keen for comfort. Remarkable, the elder, Thomas, murmurs. I haven't seen this in 70 years. Seen what? I demand. My hands still tremble. What's happening to me? You bear a Luna's mark. Thomas gestures to my collarbone. The scar I got in a car accident when I was 19. How did you come by this? A wreck. Broken glass. I touch it self-consciously. What does that have to do with anything? Show me exactly where you crashed. Something in his tone makes my heart stutter. Why? Please, Kate. Kenneth has stopped pacing. He stands very still, his eyes human again but haunted, fixed on my face. This is important. I swallow hard. Coldwater Bridge. 7 years ago. I was driving back from my grandmother's house and something ran into the road. I swerved, went over the side. My car was totaled, but I survived. Just this scar to show for it. Thomas and Kenneth exchange a look that makes my stomach drop. That's impossible, Kenneth says softly. I was there that night. The world tilts. What? There was an attack. His voice has gone flat, carefully controlled. Rogues targeting pack boarders. We were hunting them, and one broke through our line. It ran onto the bridge just as he stops, his face going pale. There was a car. Your car. My hand goes to my scar. I remember the crash. Remember the terror, the broken glass, the way my car flipped and rolled. But there are gaps in my memory. Black spaces I always attributed to trauma. I pulled the rogue off before it could break through your window, Kenneth continues, his voice barely above a whisper. We went over the side together, into the ravine. I killed it there. Then I climbed back up to check on you. I never saw you. You were unconscious by the time I reached the road. I made sure you were breathing, that help was coming, and then I left. Humans couldn't know what had happened. His jaw works. But when I tried to heal the cut on your neck, to make sure you wouldn't scar, the mark wouldn't fade. Thomas finishes quietly, because you'd already bonded her. The moment you touched her blood with intention, the moment you chose to save her over pursuing your enemy, you created a soul tie. The room spins. That's not possible. I'm human. Humanity is irrelevant to a true bond. Thomas's weathered face is grave. The throne recognized what you are, Kenneth's fated mate, bound to him 7 years ago by blood and choice, whether either of you understood it or not. I look at Kenneth, at the raw anguish written across his features, and understand. He'd known. Maybe not consciously, but some part of him had known from the beginning that what we had was more than human love. That's why losing me nearly destroyed him. Why he tried to push me away to protect me. And why tonight, when rogues attacked his territory, my newly awakened bond responded. The rogues, I whisper. They came because of me. They came because someone told them what you are, Kenneth says grimly. Someone who wants to prevent your recognition as Luna. Outside, another howl rises. Closer this time. Filled with promise. They weren't done. This was only the beginning. Kenneth's decision is immediate and non-negotiable. I would stay at the estate under guard until they identified who sent the rogues. My objection is equally immediate. Absolutely not. This isn't a debate. He moves to the window, checking the tree line with the practiced eye of someone who's defended this territory for years. Someone orchestrated tonight. The invitation that brought you here, the Crown's reaction, the attack, it's all connected. Then I'll go back to the city. I'll disappear like I did before. And lead them straight to innocent humans. His voice sharpens. You felt what happened out there, Kate. That power. Every wolf within a mile radius felt you awaken. There's no hiding anymore. I want to argue, but the memory of that presence rising through my chest, commanding submission from wolves that should have torn me apart, makes the words die in my throat. Thomas clears his throat gently. The Alpha is correct. A newly awakened Luna bond is conspicuous. Especially one this strong. You'll draw attention whether you wish to or not. Then what do you suggest? I wrap my arms around myself, suddenly cold. I just stay here and pretend the last 4 years didn't happen? Pretend he didn't, I can't finish. Can't say abandon me with Kenneth standing right there. I suggest, Thomas says carefully, that you learn what you've become. The bond may be ancient, but it's still raw, untrained. If another attack comes and you panic, you could accidentally command our own wolves to stand down while enemies strike. The thought sends ice through my veins. You're saying I'm a liability. I'm saying you're powerful. And power without control is dangerous to everyone, including yourself. Kenneth finally turns from the window. I'll have the east wing prepared. You'll have your own space, your own guards. You don't have to see me if you don't want to. The offer should feel generous. Instead, it feels like another abandonment. How convenient for you. His eyes flash. There's nothing convenient about this. Do you think I wanted you in danger? Do you think He cuts himself off, jaw clenched so tight I can see the muscle jump. You can hate me. You have every right. But I won't let you die because of what I am. What we are, Thomas corrects quietly. The bond goes both ways, Alpha. Your wolf recognized her years before your mind did. Kenneth doesn't respond. But something in his expression cracks, just for a moment, and I see past the alpha authority to the man beneath. The one who held me on cold mornings and traced my scars with reverent fingers. The one who promised forever and then disappeared. I've spent years wondering what draws a person back to something that hurt them. Across this space, knowing Kate's journey is far from over, I can tell you, there's something powerful about seeing the truth behind a betrayal. If you want to find out what happens next, what Kate decides, and whether Kenneth's reasons are enough, make sure you're subscribed. Hit that button now because this story gets deeper, darker, and so much more complicated. Fine, I say, the word tasting like defeat. I'll stay. But not because you asked. Because I'm not going to be responsible for innocent people dying. Kenneth nods once, sharp and final. I'll show you to your room. The East Wing is as far from Kenneth's private quarters as possible while remaining in the same building. The room he leads me to is beautiful, four-poster bed, stone fireplace, windows overlooking the forest, and feels like a gilded cage. There will be guards outside, Kenneth says from the doorway. He hasn't stepped inside, as if crossing the threshold would violate some unspoken boundary. If you need anything, I won't. He flinches, but doesn't argue. Thomas will come tomorrow to begin your training. The bond, it responds to emotion. Fear, anger, even, he stops himself. You need to learn control. So I don't accidentally hurt anyone. So you don't accidentally hurt yourself. His voice softens. The power you felt tonight was just the surface. There's more, Kate. So much more. And if it manifests without control, it could burn you out from the inside. The concern in his tone makes my chest ache. I hate that it does. Hate that 4 years of distance and a confession about threats and political coercion haven't killed what I felt for him. If anything, understanding why he left makes it worse. Because now I can't hide behind righteous anger. Now I have to sit with the complicated truth that he chose to break my heart to save my life. Kenneth, I say, and his name tastes foreign on my tongue after years of refusing to speak it. Why didn't you tell me? After. Why didn't you find me and explain? He's quiet for so long I think he won't answer. Then, because I thought if you knew, you'd try to come back. And they were still watching. The council doesn't forget threats, Kate. They would have made good on their promise just to prove they could. And now? Now the throne has declared you publicly. There's no hiding what you are anymore. No protecting you through distance. His hands curl into fists at his sides. So I'll protect you the only way I have left. By making sure you're strong enough to protect yourself. Before I can respond, footsteps echo in the hallway. Quick and urgent. One of the guards appears, breathless. Alpha. We found something. Kenneth's entire demeanor shifts. The vulnerable man disappears, replaced by the alpha. Show me. He glances back at me. Lock the door. Don't open it for anyone but me or Thomas. Then he's gone, and I'm alone in this beautiful prison with my thoughts and the ghost of his confession. I don't lock the door. Instead, I wait exactly 3 minutes, then slip into the hallway. The guards Kenneth posted are gone, pulled away by whatever discovery demanded his attention. The mansion is quiet, most of the pack having dispersed after the attack. But I can hear voices drifting up from somewhere below. Kenneth's, sharp with command. Others responding. I follow the sound down a servant's staircase I remember from years ago. It leads to the lower levels, to rooms I was never supposed to see. storage, armory. And beneath that, the cells where they kept rogues for questioning. The voices grow louder. I press against the stone wall, staying in shadow, and peer around the corner. Kenneth stands in a circular chamber lit by torches. Blood stains the stone floor, old stains, layered over centuries. With him are 5 of his most trusted enforcers and Thomas. And on the ground between them, bound in silver chains that burn against his skin, is a wolf I don't recognize. Tell me again, Kenneth says, his voice deadly calm. Who sent you? The bound wolf spits blood. Go to hell, Alpha. One of the enforcers moves forward, but Kenneth raises a hand. I'll ask one more time. Who orchestrated the attack? Who told you about the ceremony? You really don't know? The wolf laughs, the sound wet and broken. That's almost funny. Your own pack, Alpha. Someone inside gave us the timing, the layout, the perfect moment to strike. Kenneth goes very still. Name them. I don't have names. We got our orders through intermediaries. But I can tell you this, whoever's pulling the strings wants the human gone. They don't care about the throne's choice or ancient magic. They just want her dead before she can be recognized. My blood turns to ice. Why? Thomas steps forward. Why does her recognition matter so much? The wolf's eyes, fever-bright with pain, fix on Kenneth. Because a true Luna bond can't be broken by politics or council orders. Once she's fully recognized, once the bond completes, no Alpha alive can command you to set her aside. And there are a lot of powerful people who've invested in keeping you bound to the Frost Girl. Kenneth's hands shake. I've never seen him shake before. The Northern Territories. Among others. You think your little forced engagement was just about preventing war? It was about control. About making sure the strongest Alpha in 3 generations stayed leashed. The wolf coughs, blood flecking his lips. But the human ruins everything. The throne chose her. The bond recognized her. And once it's complete, you'll be untouchable. No council, no territory, no political alliance will have leverage over you again. Silence falls, absolute and suffocating. So they sent you to kill her before the bond could finish, Kenneth says quietly. They sent 20 of us. I'm the only one you caught. The wolf grins through broken teeth. And there are more coming. Every rogue and mercenary wolf within 5 territories is being offered enough gold to retire on. All they have to do is bring them one human girl's head. The world spins beneath my feet. I must make some sound, a gasp, a whimper, because suddenly every head turns toward my hiding place. Kenneth's eyes find mine across the chamber. Kate. I run. Stupid, I know. Where can I go? The estate is surrounded by forest filled with wolves who want me dead. But panic overrides logic, and my feet carry me back up the stairs, down corridors, toward, I don't know. Anywhere but that chamber with its blood-stained floor and the casual discussion of my murder. Kenneth catches me in the portrait gallery. One moment I'm running, the next his arm is around my waist, pulling me against his chest. Stop. Kate, stop. Let me go. I struggle, but it's useless. He's so much stronger. I can't. His voice is raw against my ear. I can't let you go. Not again. Not when. 20 wolves. My voice breaks. And more coming. Kenneth, I can't stay here. I'll bring death to everyone in this house. You think I care about that? He spins me around, and the desperation in his face steals my breath. You think I give a damn about the political fallout or the territory disputes or any of it? Let them come. Let every mercenary and rogue in the country come. I'll kill them all before I let them touch you. You can't protect me from the whole world. Watch me. His hands come up to frame my face, and his touch is so achingly familiar that tears finally spill over. I lost you once because I thought distance would keep you safe. I'm not making that mistake again. This time, I fight. Kenneth. The bond is already forming, Kate. You felt it tonight when your power woke. And it's only going to get stronger. In a few days, maybe a week, it'll be complete. And once it is, I won't be able to be commanded away from you. The council will have no hold over me. We'll be untouchable. Unless they kill me first. His jaw tightens. That's not going to happen. You can't promise that. Yes, I can. He leans forward, resting his forehead against mine. Because I'm not the only one protecting you anymore. The throne chose you, Kate. That means the ancient magic that's bound this pack for centuries is on your side. Your power tonight? That was instinct, untrained and raw. Imagine what you'll be capable of once you learn control. I want to believe him. Want to trust that love and magic and sheer stubborn will are enough to survive what's coming. But I've learned the hard way that wanting something doesn't make it true. What if I can't do this? I whisper. What if I'm not strong enough? Then we'll make you strong enough. Kenneth pulls back just far enough to meet my eyes. Together. The way we should have done from the beginning. Footsteps echo down the hall. Thomas appears, slightly out of breath. Alpha, we have a problem. Vivian Frost has called the Northern Territories. Her father is demanding an audience. Tomorrow. Kenneth doesn't look away from me. Tell him he can wait. He's bringing the full council of alphas with him. They're invoking the right of territorial challenge. Now Kenneth does turn, his expression darkening. On what grounds? On the grounds that the throne's choice violates an existing betrothal contract. They're claiming Kate's recognition as Luna is invalid because your engagement to Vivian was sealed by council law. If you refuse to honor it, they'll declare war, Kenneth finishes grimly. Thomas nods. The Northern Territories, the Eastern Confederation, possibly the Western Range. 3 territories against 1, Kenneth. Even with your strength, those aren't odds we can survive. The weight of it settles over us like a shroud. This isn't just about me and Kenneth anymore. It's about hundreds of innocent wolves who will die if this escalates into war. Children. Families. People who never asked to be caught in the middle of politics and fate. There has to be another way, I say. Kenneth's hand tightens on my arm. There isn't. Either you leave and we pretend tonight never happened, or I refuse the council and we fight. Those aren't the only options. Both men turn to look at me. What if, I say slowly, the idea forming even as I speak, we prove the bond is real? Not just to your pack, but to the council. Make them see that this isn't politics or defiance. It's fate. Even they have to respect that. How? Thomas asks. The throne's choice is already proof. But it's not complete. Kenneth said it himself, the bond is forming, but it's not finished. What if we accelerate it? What if we complete the Luna bond before the council arrives? Then there's nothing they can do. It'll be done, sealed, unchangeable. Kenneth goes very still. Kate, do you understand what you're asking? Completing a Luna bond isn't just ceremony. It's permanent. Absolute. There's no breaking it, no changing your mind later. You'd be bound to me, to this pack, for the rest of your life. I know. And you're willing to do that? After everything I put you through? I look at him, really look at him. At the man who saved my life 7 years ago without knowing what he was creating. The man who broke my heart to keep me breathing. The man standing between me and 20 mercenary wolves with nothing but desperate determination. I'm not doing it for you, I say quietly. I'm doing it because innocent people will die if I don't. Because fate or magic or whatever ancient power lives in that throne decided I belong here. And because my voice catches. Because running didn't work the first time. Maybe it's time to stop running and start fighting. Kenneth searches my face for a long moment. Then he turns to Thomas. How long would the ceremony take? To complete a full Luna bond? Under normal circumstances, 3 days of ritual and preparation. Thomas pauses. But these aren't normal circumstances. If we push it, if we use the ancient rites instead of modern ceremony, we could do it in one night. Tomorrow night, before the council arrives. It'll be dangerous, Kenneth warns, his eyes back on me. The accelerated bond, it's painful. It could hurt you. Everything about this situation can hurt me. I straighten my spine, calling up the strength that made me survive 4 years alone. At least this way, I'm choosing the pain instead of having it chosen for me. For the first time since I arrived, Kenneth smiles. It's small and sad and doesn't reach his eyes, but it's there. Okay. We do this your way. Thomas bows his head. I'll make the preparations. But Kate, there's something you should know. The accelerated bond requires connection. Trust. You and Kenneth will need to lower every wall between you, mental and emotional. If there's doubt, if either of you holds back, the bond will reject the attempt. And the backlash could kill you both. The words hang heavy in the air. Can you do that? Thomas asks gently. Can you trust him completely? Even after everything? I don't answer right away. Can I? Can I look at the man who broke me and choose to be vulnerable again? Choose to believe his reasons were enough? I look at Kenneth, and he looks back, and in his eyes I see the same question reflected. The same fear. The same desperate hope. I guess we'll find out tomorrow night, I say. Thomas nods and disappears down the corridor, leaving Kenneth and me alone in the portrait gallery. Around us, painted wolves watch from gilded frames, generations of alphas and lunas who faced their own trials. You should rest, Kenneth says finally. Tomorrow will be intense. Will you stay? The words escape before I can stop them. I don't mean just. I don't want to be alone tonight. Something soft crosses his face. I'll stay. We walk back to my room in silence. Kenneth takes up position in the chair by the fireplace while I curl up on the bed, still fully clothed. For a long time, neither of us speaks. The fire crackles. Outside, wolves patrol the grounds, protecting against threats that multiply with every passing hour. Kenneth? My voice sounds small in the darkness. Yeah? Tomorrow night, when we do this, what if it doesn't work? What if I can't trust you enough, or you? It'll work. He sounds so certain. It has to. How do you know? He's quiet for a moment. Then, because 7 years ago, in a split-second decision on a bridge, I chose you over duty. Over orders. Over everything I was supposed to be. And I've been choosing you every day since, even when it meant pushing you away. Even when it broke us both. His voice drops to barely a whisper. The bond will work, Kate. Because my wolf knew what my heart took too long to accept. You were always mine. I was always yours. Everything else was just noise. Tears slide silently down my cheeks. I don't say anything. Can't. But as I drift toward sleep, listening to Kenneth's steady breathing across the room, I feel that presence beneath my breastbone stir again. Ancient. Patient. Inevitable. Tomorrow night, we'd find out if fate was enough. Tomorrow night, I'd bet everything on a bond one didn't ask for with a man who destroyed me. Tomorrow night, I'd either become Luna of the Thornwood Pack, or I'd die trying. The forest beyond the windows whispers with movement. Somewhere out there, 20 wolves hunt for my head. Somewhere beyond them, the Council of Alphas gathers their armies. And somewhere deep in the earth, beneath stone and roots and centuries of pack magic, the throne waits to see if I'm worthy of the crown it chose. I close my eyes and let sleep take me. Because tomorrow, everything changes. And there's no running from fate. Not anymore. This has been a Shadow Howl's Tale production. If you've made it this far, you're clearly invested in Kate and Kenneth's story, and trust me, we're just getting started. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss what happens during that bonding ceremony, how Kate faces the council, and whether love really can survive betrayal. Hit that subscribe button, drop a comment telling me what you think happens next, and I'll see you in the next chapter. Until then, may your own fate be kinder than Kate's.